Okay, so how to make people respect you instantly without having to say a word, because it would be ideal, wouldn't it, guys, if we didn't even have to open our mouth and people automatically respect us, whether it's through status, whether it's through attractiveness, whatever. If we don't have to open our mouth at all and people already respect us, then that puts us at a massive advantage, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get respect instantly without having to say a word. So the first thing you guys need to do is you need to fix your face, right? Unfortunately, the harsh reality is I do not make the rules, but people judge you based on how good looking you are. That's why the ugly guys at school never got any attention from anyone, not just women, but even men don't even want to speak to them. And then the more attractive guys, always people are trying to be your friend. I wonder why. And it's not because you've got better charisma, it's because you're better looking. So, unfortunately, we can't change our bone structure, but we can certainly go from a 3 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. Another thing as well, guys, the first thing that people see is your face, right? Of course, I'm making a video outside today, and maybe you guys are looking at the abs, and maybe you guys are looking at the bicep veins, but the first place that most people see you is your face. And the only reason I've got my top off is because it's such a lovely day in England today, for a change, right? So our face is very important when we're trying to gain respect from people. So one way that you can do it is by fixing your grooming. This will instantly make you look more attractive. If you've got loads of little baby hairs on the side of your head, then it's going to make things 20 times harder for you. You're going to look a lot worse, and then as a result, you're going to get treated with less respect than if you had a more attractive face. So get rid of all of that bum fluff on the side of your face every single day. Don't do it once every other day. Do it every single day. And then the next thing is skincare, right? So if you guys don't have a good skincare routine, then you're pretty much fucked, right? If you guys have got a nice skincare routine, it's going to make your face pop more, and it's just going to make you look more attractive on the face. So what I do is I have a wash, and then I have a moisturizer, and then that's it. And I exfoliate my face twice a week. So I have to do this 3 times a day because I would exercise all the time. But if you don't exercise during the day, then you only need to do it in the morning and the evening, and that's it. So get yourself some sort of wash and a cleanser, maybe, if you guys want to advance it a bit more, and then get yourself a moisturizer for after you've washed your face, and then do that twice a day. Unless you do exercise during the middle of the day like myself, then you do it 3 times a day, and then exfoliate your face twice a week. I do it every Wednesday and every Saturday because I want to look good for the weekend, right? So we also need to get a better jawline, a more lean looking jawline. Unfortunately, we can't choose the way our face is structured, like I said, unless we get some sort of surgery. But one way to make your jawline look better is by putting on more muscle. The more muscle you have, there's a direct correlation between the amount of muscle you have and how big your jawline is, okay? If you guys go on Instagram, or if you go on the internet and you just search Ronnie Coleman when he was natural, when he had less muscle on his frame, and then you type in a picture of him when he went on all the steroids and put on a load of muscle, you can see that his face gets thicker as he puts on muscle. And it's not just Ronnie Coleman, it's everyone. The more muscle you have, the more your jawline pops. But if you've got a load of fat over the top of it, then it's not going to matter, because just like your abs, right? If you guys have got 6-pack abs, everyone's got 6-pack abs, but it's about how lean you are, whether you see it or not. You guys need to get in a calorie deficit until you're about 10% body fat to have a striking jawline. Okay, so if you guys need any help getting down to 10% body fat, or adding muscle on your frame and getting leaner in general, then book a call in with me below in the description, and then we can see if it makes sense for us to work together. Apart from all of that, the next most important thing is fixing your eyebrows. If you guys have got no eyebrows, or you guys have got different sided eyebrows, you haven't got symmetrical looking eyebrows, then that makes you look worse. Remember, I've made a video on this before, guys. Just have a look at my video, how to go from a 3 to a 7 fast, and then there's a picture of Justin Bieber on there with no eyebrows versus when he had eyebrows. And Justin Bieber's a good looking fella, guys, so just have a look at that video after this video, of course, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So the next step, guys, is to get an elite physique. You guys don't understand how much respect that you garner for just having a lean physique. But if you guys are wearing t-shirts and you haven't got a lot of muscle on your frame, then the first thing you guys need to do is build some muscle, so you actually look kind of intimidating when you wear a t-shirt. Next thing is getting lean. Of course, if you look lean and you look good without a top on, then that's going to make things a lot better for you. But unfortunately, if you don't take your top off all the time, people don't really know how lean you are. They can look at how vascular your forearms are, but they have to be analysing you big time to understand how lean you are if you're wearing a t-shirt. So you guys can't really be little pipsqueaks anymore. You guys have got to look pretty big in a t-shirt, but then you've also got to look lean and aesthetic for when you take your top off. So you guys want to basically look like you can protect and provide to a certain extent. It doesn't mean that you actually can protect and provide, which I'm going to talk about later on, but it just shows that you've had years of discipline and you've put loads of time into a craft, and people instantly respect that. I don't think you guys understand the constant rimming I get from strangers, right? So if I'm walking around topless on holiday, I get random people just coming up to me going like, oh yeah man, you're looking good. I get gay guys hitting on me quite a lot, right? I've never actually really had a girl come up to me and say like, yeah, you've got an amazing physique. But I get confident gay guys coming up to me. And if I'm getting confident gay guys coming up to me telling me I'm beautiful all the time, then I'm going to assume that women think the same. Okay, I'm just still waiting for that day. Maybe when I level myself up even more and get more respect, then maybe some people will. You never know. Having a really nice physique speaks volume without having to open your mouth whatsoever. If you've got nice prominent bicep veins popping all the time, people just automatically treat you better compared to a little pipsqueak that's kind of skinny fat. So getting an elite physique is one way that you can command respect without even having to open your mouth whatsoever. As soon as you walk into the room, people respect you. Okay guys, so you guys need to get in the cage and fight ASAP, right? So when people know that you fight, so maybe you live in a little town like myself, right? I'm the only fighter in this town, okay? So I don't think you guys understand how differently I get treated compared to other people. When you have competed in the cage quite a few times, you walk with like a bit of a fighter swag. There's just some sort of swagger you have to your walk, and people can just sort of tell that you fight. I don't know how to explain it. People can tell that you're just more loose. Not the Conor McGregor walk, but everyone's got their own little twist on the Conor McGregor walk a little bit. And respect comes from danger under control. So if you guys are capable of violence, that gets respect from people. So the difference between a nice guy versus a kind person is massive, right? A nice guy is a guy that's just an absolute pipsqueak and he has to be nice to people in order to get people to be nice to them. However, a kind person is somebody that has the ability to decapitate you if they want to, but then they choose not to. So I am technically a kind person. There's quite a few people that piss me off in this world, but I have the ability to end them if I really wanted to. But I show kindness and I don't, okay? But I don't think you guys understand how much status I get in my local area just for being a fighter. If I walk into a pub, people talk about my passion all the time. I don't even have to talk about their bullshit life. They're always asking me questions, so I'm not really even used to asking people questions unless it benefits me. So I'm going to go to the pub tonight. I actually am going to go to the pub tonight. And then when I get into that pub, I guarantee you I'll get at least 5 people start ass-licking me about fighting. Trust me. So one way that you guys can gain some sort of respect from people without even having to try is be known as a fighter. So you guys need to get in the cage ASAP and then not only just fighting once, but fight until you win, okay? You might lose your first fight. Who gives a shit? As you guys can see, I lost this fight down here and I took that fight on 2 days' notice. And do you think people shamed me for that? No, of course they didn't. People respect that because fighting is something that 99% of people won't do. So if you guys are one of those people that are willing to take that step and be part of the 1%, you'd be absolutely surprised at how much people respect that. Annoying little side note to that as well. So for example, when I go to the pub tonight, maybe I'm in a group of people that I know from my area. Maybe people start asking me questions about fighting. And other blokes get pissed off about that, right? So I don't have to speak. People are asking me questions. People are like, yeah, Shay, how's the fighting going? When's your next fight? That's the most common thing I get asked, by the way. When's your next fight? Most annoying question in the world. If you are a fighter, you probably understand what I'm talking about. But other men try and steal the spotlight from me all the time, and the people that are in that group do not give a shit. They're still asking me questions because they're saying stuff like, yeah, so I got in this fight one time, blah, blah, blah. But there's no evidence for that. However, If you go on YouTube and you type in Shay Hammond MMA, there's fights on YouTube of me fighting. Some of me winning, some of me losing, but people don't care because I still did something that 99% of people won't do. So guys, it does not matter if you lose. But what I'd say is just keep on fighting until you win. You need to experience both. You need to experience losing. Hopefully that's your first fight. I hope that your first fight that you ever have, you lose. And then after that, you're going to overcome all that shit. You're going to have a really lowered ego. And then you're going to come back even stronger and you're going to win. And then that feeling is unbelievable. And then that's how you get the fighter swag, by the way. You have to win a fight in order to get the fighter swag. If you lose your fight, you're going to walk around with your head down all the time. And then you're going to learn from it and you're going to come back stronger. And then when you come back stronger, you're going to smash it. And then you're going to have that fighter swagger like Conor McGregor. So the next thing that you guys need to do is do what other men don't. Do what other men won't do. Okay? Most men, especially today, avoid discomfort. And you guys need to seek discomfort. Like I said to you before, one way that you can do it is by fighting. Something that a lot of people would not dare to do. If you're one of the guys that does that, people hold you at such a high regard, guys. Trust me. So you guys could, if you don't want to get in the cage and fight, you could have cold showers every day. You could wake up early every single day. You could push the limits in the gym. You could quit the 9 to 5 and start a business. I do all of these things, by the way, guys. I'm not just saying bullshit. I'm very sorry about my dog in the background. I'm not sure if you guys can hear them, but they're pissing me off, so I can only imagine that they're pissing you off. Can you hear that? Hey guys, so fix your posture and presence. The reason why I'm sat so hunched forward in this closed body language position is because I can't see the screen. I'm a bit far away. But if I was like trying to command respect from people, no slouching whatsoever. So if you guys are sat down in a chair, you sat up tall, you take up as much room as you possibly can. Take up as much room as possible. Because what happens is when you take up much more room and you're in an open body language, that means that you're going to be more relaxed. And then the more relaxed you are, for one, that does show confidence in general, but when people speak to you, if you're sat really far forward, that's why you're so nervous when your boss speaks to you. So if your boss is going, why haven't you done this, Shay? And you're sat like this, you're going to go, because and you start doing the jubble mouth stuff. But if you're sat back in your chair, it's like you've got much more time to sort of analyze what's going on, and you can sort of pick out when to speak. You can take your time a bit more, and when you do actually speak, you're going to have a lot more clearer sentences and you're not going to do the and and stuff. But remember, this is a video on how to not open your mouth in general. But if you're at that point where you have to actually open your mouth, then if you're sat like this, you're going to have a shitter response compared to if you're sat like this. And it's the same thing for driving as well, guys. If you're sat on your steering wheel and you're like this when you drive, you're going to be more nervous and reactive. But if you're sat a bit further back, you can see things coming a lot further and you can make better decisions when you're driving, which means you're not going to be unattractive as anything when you're doing all the road rage shit, because we all know that road rage is the most unattractive thing in the world, right? Who hates it when they've got a driver driving for them and then they've got them going, fuck that. I've lost my license recently, so I have to get a lot of lifts off people, and I've now discovered that the most unattractive thing in the world is when people road rage, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree on that. Another thing as well, guys, is you want to have good eye contact. You don't want to look like a creep though. So when you're thinking of new things to say, you just look to the side, and then once you've thought of what to say, then you go back to the eye contact and make your point. But you do not want to be the guy that's just staring at people the whole time. But then at the same time, you don't want to be the guy looking at the floor the whole time when you speak to people. So make sure that you show some confidence with your eye contact, especially with women, because that's women's kryptonite. If you're on a date with a girl and you can give good eye contact and they can't even look at you back, you might as well just end the date there and then and just get in bed with her straight away, because eye contact is women's kryptonite. If they can stare at you dead in the eyes, that means they don't like you. I know that seems like the opposite thing, but women can stare back at guys that they find ugly all the time. Say if a woman's getting gawked on, right, and then they see the guy gawking on them, if it's an ugly guy, they look directly at their eyes and they don't stop the eye contact. But if it's a really attractive guy, they get all nervous and they look at the floor, which is because they're feminine and they don't want to show dominance, right? But if you're a guy and you can't even look at a girl straight in the eye, then you're not the one in control. They're actually more higher value than you. So you guys need to show that strength and actually show eye contact. And guys need to walk with a purpose as well. The amount of times I've seen NPCs walking around, you can tell when a guy doesn't have a purpose and he's walking around. He's just sort of playing on his phone. He doesn't really know where he's going. When you guys are walking places, you guys need to walk with some sort of confidence. You need to make it look like you've actually got a purpose. So when you're walking, you should have your hands down by your side like so, and you should have your chest expanded and your shoulders rolled back like so. And then that shows a confident walk. If you guys are walking with your hunched forward posture like this and you're looking at the floor all the time, people instantly don't respect you. They see you as instantly not very confident. And every time you guys walk into a room, you guys want to be smiling at everyone, giving eye contact to everybody and smiling at people, because that does a massive first impression without having to open your mouth. Guys, if somebody comes up to greet you and they're stood up, you do not ever want to go like, yeah, nice to meet you. You always stand up and you greet them like so. You do not ever want to be greeting somebody looking up to them like that. That's a massive, massive, massive red flag, and you don't get respect for doing that. So every time somebody greets you, make sure you put the extra effort in, because if somebody's greeting you, that's probably their first impression of you, right? So you've got to make it a good first impression to get people's respect. So if somebody tries to shake your hand, or if somebody, like a woman, tries to give you a hug if you're meeting them, you don't hug them sat down, you stand up and give them a hug instead. You need to keep your frame no matter what as well. So you guys need to be calm under pressure. Calm under pressure equals power. So if you guys watched Peaky Blinders before, you guys want to have Tommy Shelby calmness. You know, when people have got guns to his head and he shows no emotion, that is how you get respect. And that's why Tommy Shelby has so much respect. And I know I'm not a spastic. I know it's not a real show, but these principles work in real life as well. So if there's anything bad going on, you show no reaction to it. If you show reaction, you're weak, okay? So you guys want to stay calm, especially if things go wrong. People respect men who don't let emotions control them. You guys want to never be too happy when things are going well for you, because if you guys get too happy when things are going well for you, what if that thing gets taken away? For example, yesterday, I got super happy when I sold an online coaching program, because it's my job, right? And I'm a salesman. So I made a sale yesterday and I was saying to my girlfriend, like, yes, I'm so happy about it. Let's fucking go. And then the next morning he's asking to cancel it. So if I didn't get so happy about it in the first place, I wouldn't have been so unhappy about it when things started to go wrong. But then at the same time, you never want to be too sad about things if things do go wrong in the first place. You just want to be able to stay in the middle the whole time and be able to adjust if anything does happen. So if things are going really well for you, that's fine. Doesn't matter. If things are going really shit for you, doesn't matter too much. Have an abundance mindset with your emotions. Don't let the emotions control you. You want to be able to control your emotions. Hold your frame during chaos. You want to be as stoic as you can and just be still. Don't show any reaction whatsoever. Just act still, and you'd be surprised at how much respect you gain from people for doing that. So you guys need to build something real, okay? So firstly, you need to create discipline. Once you've created the discipline, you need to create value to other people. So that means sending content about what you guys have done, and then learn how to lead people. So there is probably something that you guys have autistic knowledge about, whether it's how do I look smacks my face, how do I get into the most amazing physique, or how do I make my hair look really well, or how do I make my teeth look really good? There's probably something that you guys have autistic knowledge about. Maybe you guys know the exact macros that you guys should be eating in order to get into amazing shape. If you don't have one, then shame on you guys. You guys need to go watch some content first, go and learn a skill, go and actually put it into the real world. And then once you've put it into the real world, then you've got autistic knowledge on it. Okay, once you have the autistic knowledge on it, master the craft and then start teaching people how to do it in a faster way. This is the new meta for earning money, guys. If you guys learn something, you just synthesize it in a faster way. So if you guys learnt it through a video that took an hour, then you guys find a way to make it a half hour long. You guys want to try and shorten the learning for other people so you can teach your knowledge. Eventually, you guys will have built something bigger than yourself, and then you own that. once you guys have discovered what that is, what you have autistic knowledge on, what you can make content on, then you guys own that forever. Problem is, most men are too scared to even post content, and this will always hold you back because, like I say, this is the new meta for earning money, guys. If you guys are too scared to even post content, then you're at a massive disadvantage. So you guys need to just grow a pair and just start posting some content. So you basically just want to be undeniable. You need to make your face more handsome. You need to get into panty dropping shape. You need to get into the cage or ring and fight. Do what other people won't do, whether it's traveling the world, whether it's getting in the cage, whatever. You guys need to be stoic when things happen. So if things piss you off, you don't show any emotion. If things are supposed to make you really happy, you're okay with it. It's not going to make you too happy, it's fine. And you also need to build something real. You need to provide value to everyone else, to people just like you, your former self. You guys need to provide value for. Don't chase respect, command it. Your presence should just speak for you, and go earn it, boys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, share and subscribe, and there's plenty more videos where this came from, so click on another video if you guys want to have a look, and I'll see you guys on my next one.